ESPN's presentation of Capital One Bowl Week.
The Big Ten's #1 rusher, Le'Veon Bell, leads Michigan State into their 6th straight bowl game. Javon Boykin, a redshirt freshman at the controls for TCU's Horned Frogs in their 8th straight postseason game. The Spartans looking to end their season as they did a year ago with a victory in the postseason. The Big Ten, the Big 12, Spartans and Horned Frogs coming up next. Welcome you to the 2012 Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl from Tempe, Arizona. Beautiful night for football. A lot of purple in the stands. TCU and Michigan State set to get together here at Sun Devil Stadium. And we welcome you, everybody. Happy holidays. Brad Nessler along with Todd Blackledge. These two teams, Todd, I think, expected more out of their 2012 season. They're going to start to put that in the rearview mirror, I think, and look ahead to 2013. Michigan State lost 5 games in the Big Ten by a total of 13 points. Tough year. They won some close ones as well. And TCU, their first foray into the Big 12, right. I think they did pretty well, but they went 4-5. So what's the motivation tonight for these two teams?
Well, I think you hit it. I think both these teams are going to be highly motivated because I think both of them feel they're better teams than their record shows. You know, sometimes you worry about one team being more motivated than the other in a non-BCS bowl. I think both teams want to finish on a positive note, and both teams are very young. They're going to be good next year. I think they both want to use this game as a building block, a springboard into next season.
They're both the #1 defenses in their respective conferences, and we'll develop that as we go through the game. But let's talk about the guys that those student defenses need to stop tonight.
Well, when TCU's on defense, they've got to stop Le'Veon Bell. I mean, he is the go-to guy. I mean, if you looked up in a dictionary a workhorse, this would be the guy. 350 carries, over 1,600 yards, and half of his yardage comes after contact. He's 6'2", 240 pounds, and as you see in these highlights, pretty doggone athletic as well. When TCU has the ball, their redshirt freshman quarterback, Javon Boykin, who's been a starter the last 8 games and has gotten better and better the more he plays. He's a dual-threat guy, and dual-threat quarterbacks have given Michigan State's defense a few problems this year. Boykin is the guy Michigan State has to stop, especially on 3rd down.
All right, we talked about Le'Veon Bell and the fact that TCU is going to try to slow him down. He thinks he can't be slowed down, I believe, as we check in 3rd member of our team, Holly Rowe. Holly?
Let's just say he's confident. He said, we're going to try and run the ball down their throats and wear those guys out. And Le'Veon has proven he can do that for most of this season. In fact, in 6 games this year, he has had 32 or more carries. He is built to last. They feel like to get against this defensive front of TCU, they have got to be patient and run the football. We'll see if he puts his yardage where his mouth is tonight.
Okay, we'll find out. Mark D'Antonio done a great job at Michigan State his 6th year as a head coach. 6th straight bowl game. And on the other side, Gary Patterson, 11th bowl game for him in his 12 seasons at the controls, and he is the winningest coach in TCU history. 2010, TCU went 13-0 and won the Rose Bowl. 2009, they were in the Fiesta Bowl out here in Arizona on a 12-1 year. Last year, 11-2. This year, a little bit down, but as Todd said, so much youth on this team. They are looking ahead to next season and kind of salivating over the fact that they're going to open up at Cowboy Stadium against LSU.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be a real challenge for them. And again, both of these teams have more freshmen that they've played that were involved in the depth chart than seniors, and that's something to build on.
Well, they're specialists as well, our freshmen. As TCU won the toss and deferred, Michigan State, Nick Hill and Larry Caper back deep awaiting Jaden Oberchrome's kickoff. Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl wrapping up your Saturday nights.
Ladies and gentlemen, to the 2012 Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl.
And we're underway in Tempe. Kick goes to the 1-yard line to Nick Hill. Hill trying to follow his blockers and got out across the 25 out around the 27-yard line. That's where Michigan State will go to work with Andrew Maxwell, their junior quarterback. There's his numbers on the year. Guy that didn't get a lot of time behind Kirk Cousins, and now he's the man. He's taken a lot of flack this year. He's gotten some credit in some games. He said yesterday, some of the wins, I get too much credit. Some of the losses, as you know, you always get the blame.
Yeah, that's the way it goes for a quarterback. And Maxwell understands that, has a really good head on his shoulders. I think it'll be important for him to be effective throwing the ball on early downs against this TCU defense.
Here is Le'Veon Bell on the first carry and got it out to the 31-yard line. As we take a look at our impact players for Michigan State. Le'Veon Bell, he's the workhorse. William Goldston defensively really brings some pressure off the edge. He's a huge body at 6'7", almost 280 pounds. And Max Bulla, the middle linebacker, he is all linebacker, third-generation Spartan, and he leads the club in tackles, and he definitely leads the club getting them aligned defensively. Three wideouts here. Quick throw out to Bell in the flat. He's going to try to reverse his field. His quarterback throws him a little block. He spins back and had to work very, very hard for a gain of a yard.
You're not going to run outside too much against this TCU defense. They are not nearly as big in stature as Michigan State, but they are very fast, and particularly on defense.
You were talking about that. You were down on the field before the game, and there was a big size difference.
It really is. I mean, you know, Michigan State is a typical Big Ten team. Big offensive line, big defensive line, and inside linebackers, and TCU is built for the Big 12 in the way they play offense there.
Maxwell in the shotgun on third down at 6. Has time, throws short, and that's going to be a loss of a yard. Burbridge made the catch, but Jason Verrett, the leader of the secondary, and all Big 12 performer, made the stop.
Jason Verrett is a guy who has really come on. I mean, struggled a little bit early in his career when he transferred from junior college in California, but once he settled down, he became a lockdown corner, and that's something Gary Patterson loves with this defense.
Mike Sadler will punt it away. Sky Dawson's got great speed. He's back as a return man. Dawson in the top 5 in the Big 12 in both kickoff and punt returns. He's going to have to fair catch this one around the 24-yard line. So a 3 and out for Michigan State. And now Trevon Boykin, the guy we talked about, brings out the offense. Redshirt freshman out of Mesquite, Texas. And there's his numbers. And his numbers really improved as the season went along. He was a little shaky early. Had to take over after week 4.
Well, at one point, and when he did take over, the first 3 days of that week's of practice, he was a tailback.
Right.
Because they had injury problems at tailback. And then on Thursday, he became the starting quarterback.
And that led up to the Iowa State game where he was indoctrinated into playing quarterback in the Big 12 and threw 3 interceptions. Here he is to throw on the first play of the game, and incomplete. Josh Boyce got his hands on it but couldn't hold it. Let's take a look at the Horned Frogs and their impact players. And the guy that just laid out for that one, Josh Boyce, having another great season, couldn't hold that one. Verrett, we talked about him already. 6 interceptions leading the secondary. And Devontae Fields, wait until you see this freshman, the freshman of the year defensively in the Big 12. All 3 wide receivers go out to the top of your screen. Catalon and Tucker both in a pistol set in the backfield. Read option Tucker on the carry, and short yardage there is going to bring up third down and long.
It's really amazing when you look at the numbers of Michigan State's defense, and we've already said both defenses led their respective conferences. Michigan State as a 6-6 team, it's hard to play much better defense than they played, and you look at those numbers, even that 10th ranked scoring defense, those numbers are actually better because the Spartan offense threw 4 pick-6s this year.
Right.
So those are touchdowns that count against the defense that really weren't given up by the defense.
TCU, not a great team on third down this year. 34%. They've got a third down at 7 here. 4 wideouts for Boykin. Pressure coming. Fires deep. Overshot. A wide open Josh Boyce. And that would have been a touchdown if he could have pulled the string on that one a little bit.
Well, Michigan State's base coverage is quarter coverage. They divide the field in 4 sections, and they lock down and press their corners. And they do this all the time. They force a quarterback to make accurate throws. And even though he had a guy open, Boykin was not comfortable making that throw, and they have to punt.
Ethan Perry, the 9th best punter in the country as a freshman, averaging over 42 a kick. Andre Sims waiting back on the other end. And he's going to have to call for a fair catch, backpedaling around the 20-yard line. So neither offense can get anything going with their first possession. We'll see if Sparty and Le'Veon Bell can when they handle it for the second time when we come back. Ran for 136 in an Ohio State win. Mike Myers' 42-yard field goal. Iowa wins on October 13th. Brendan Gibbons' 38-yard field goal, 5 seconds to go. Nebraska topped Michigan State on a last-second touchdown. And then Northwestern took a fourth-quarter lead on Jeff Butzine's 27-yard field goal and held off Michigan State. They're trying to start a new chapter tonight. And Maxwell throwing on the run, throws it away. We were talking with Mark D'Antonio yesterday, and I said to him, it's almost impossible to lose 5 games by a total of 13 points. And he just kind of smiled and said, that's the way the season's gone. And there they are.
Well, you know, and coaches are always looking for some kind of motto or theme to take into the offseason workout program and spring football. And I guarantee you for Mark, it'll be something like, we got to finish. We got to learn how to finish or close out those last 2 minutes. They'll tailor drills and everything in the offseason to kind of get to that message.
2nd and 10. Maxwell in the shotgun. Le'Veon Bell tripped up, but he did get about 5. Jason Verrett, again, the corner, number 2, comes up to make the stop.
You know what's interesting about Le'Veon Bell, when we talked to the coaches, Dan Roschauer, their offensive coordinator, said he looks a little bit lighter, a little bit leaner during bowl practice, and that's usually the opposite. Usually a guy gains some weight towards the end of the season around the holidays and bowl game. Le'Veon Bell looks a little quicker and a little leaner.
I know one guy in the booth that gained some during the holidays.
That's 2 of us.
That's 2 of us then. 3rd down and 6. Larry Caper in the backfield now. Both these teams are great at forcing 3 and outs. 2 of the best in the country. Might have another one coming unless Maxwell can scramble for it. He doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Chucky Hunter made the tackle. And Michigan State will have to kick it again.
Good coverage on 1st down, forced the throw away. Good coverage again on 3rd down. Initially, there's enough time for Maxwell. Nobody open down the field. And then the quickness of that defensive front. TCU's not a heavy blitz team. They count on their front 4 to pressure the quarterback.
Sadler in to kick again. So TCU 2nd in the country in forcing 3 and outs, and they've done it back-to-back possessions. And they keep getting closer to the punter. Fair catch again taken by Dawson, backpedaling inside the 30 at about the 27-yard line. 10:16 remaining, 1st quarter of the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl here in Arizona.
Lexus. The Lexus December to Remember sales event is on. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Little wing eating contest outside Sun Devil Stadium tonight before the kickoff, put on by the Buffalo Wild Wings folks. Todd and I were going to have some wings before the game, but I just got this tie from my daughter for Christmas, and I knew I was going to have sauce on it when we came on camera. So I'm going to wait till halftime.
Yeah, need bibs or raincoats or something if we're going to eat them.
Exactly. So TCU's 2nd possession starts at the 27. Matthew Tucker and B.J. Catalon have shared the tailback duties throughout the season and will as well tonight. Right now it's Tucker in there flanking Trevon Boykin. The tight end Corey Fuller on the move on 1st down. And it's Tucker, no gain off the left side as we check in with Holly.
Well, the teams actually had a wing eating competition while they've been here in Phoenix, and over 7,330 wings were consumed. That's about half of the stadium actually on the far side. Well, the winner was Sean Cam. He downed 65 wings for Michigan State. 65. That's a whole lot of chickens.
That is a lot of chicken. Holly was trying to determine how many chickens there were in that many wings, and what she forgot is the drummies count as well. She was going strictly on wings. Second down at 10, empty backfield, everybody moving. William Golston saying it was a false start on TCU. We'll see if he's right. Jack Foyard is our referee.
Two young offensive tackles for TCU.
Offside on the defense. Penetrated the neutral zone and caused the opponent to react. That's a 5-yard penalty, second down.
So they walked that one off against Michigan State. There is Golston, all 6'7", 278 pounds of it, and he can cause some havoc in backfields, and has this year for Michigan State. Had 4.5 sacks, 4.5 tackles for loss, I should say, in the Wisconsin win. Boykin looks a little bit confused, trying to get the play call from the sideline.
Well, Michigan State moved out of their 4-man front. They're into a 3-man front. They're kind of moving around, trying to confuse the young quarterback.
Boykin slips as he throws, and with that, it's a one-hopper out to Cam White, incomplete.
You know, the thing I noticed in pregame, and I don't know if there was a previous injury or anything that was bothering him, but he has an unusual tape job on his left ankle. And not sure if that's a problem or if that's just something he's always done, but kind of lost his footing on that play. Didn't look too sharp with his footwork throwing the out route.
And they've got a 3rd and 5. So far, neither offense able to get anything going. Let's see if TCU can on this 3rd down. Michigan State looks like they might bring a little extra pressure. Boykin deep on the sideline, incomplete, intended for Brandon Carter, and there come the flags.
Well, there was contact with the safety, Curtis Drummond, number 27, but I'm not sure that ball was catchable. I mean, that ball looked like it was clearly thrown out of bounds and not a catchable pass.
Pass interference, number 27 on the defense. Grabbed and restricted the receiver. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Mark D'Antonio doesn't like it much.
Yeah, really an unnecessary penalty. Drummond was beat. He did grab, and there's the hold.
Yep.
So even if it wasn't uncatchable, it was a holding, he definitely grabbed him, and that's what drew the flag. The ball was going to end up out of bounds, but Drummond instinctively, when he felt himself being beat, grabbed the jersey.
So first down by penalty for TCU. Now they work at the 47-yard line. Boykin running out of time and now running out of trouble and running well, which is what he does so well. Inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line. Pickup of 19.
Now, and again, this is the problem that he creates. Michigan State wants to lock up the corners. They want to run in man-type coverages, and if you don't close up all those rushing lanes, Boykin will make you pay. And that's what he's done over the last 8 games.
Now they've got some tempo working. Michigan State not able to change anything defensively because they just went up to the line. They take their time now. 5 receivers and an empty backfield at this point for Boykin. First down at the 34-yard line of the Spartans. Now it's Tucker who joins him back there, and he'll get the carry. Jumps into the middle and jumps out for 11 yards. Best run of the night by TCU other than their quarterback.
3 other teams that had dual threat quarterbacks. Ohio State with Braxton Miller, Denard Robinson, Michigan, Taylor Martinez of Nebraska, all created some problems for this tough Michigan State defense. They lost to all 3 of those teams in very close games, but that dual threat quarterback, the ability to run from the quarterback position, puts extra stress on a defense, even one as good as Michigan State.
There's a little more Braxton Miller in him than Martinez, don't you think?
Yeah.
Fires sidearm, and this one he completes out to Josh Boyce, and Boyce inside the 20.
And the reason for that is, and I noticed this when I was down the field before the game, he's not real tall, but he's pretty thick in his lower body the way Braxton Miller is,
right,
which makes him hard to tackle. Taylor Martinez is just flat out fast. And when he gets a running lane, he's hard to catch. this guy and Braxton Miller are hard to tackle.
And that's why he was set up to at least see some duty at tailback before Iowa State, before he found out he had to play quarterback. He's got great wheels. And as you said, he's put together. 215 pounds. Here's Tucker. Nope, that's a keep this time by Boykin. Great fake. Had me and got it down to a 1st and goal.
And where the running quarterback is the biggest problem for a defense, 2 areas, on 3rd down and in the red zone. He really sells the fake on the zone play. It's a zone read. He read the defensive end crashing down and made the correct read and got the ball inside the 10-yard line.
So he's had runs of 19 and now 13. And it's 1st and goal for the Horned Frogs. DJ Catalon, the freshman tailback, in there with him in the backfield now. Actually, it's spotted at the 5. Catalon stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Might have lost a little bit. And now the ball at the end of the play picked up by Michigan State. Denzel Drone's got the football. So they're going to bring it back. Blown dead at the line of scrimmage.
Well, this play was well defended.
By forward progress. 2nd down.
They're in there scrapping and fighting for that ball, which is what you teach defenders to do. If one guy has them held up, the next guy coming in is ripping for the football.
Anthony White had him down low, all 330 pounds of him. He wasn't going anywhere on the inside. And it's 2nd and goal from the same spot.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a little play action this time for Boykin. Get him out on the edge with a run-pass threat.
3 wideouts to his right. He fakes the pass, but it's a handoff to Tucker, and that didn't get much either. And Tyler Hoover on the inside, along with Drone making the play.
Michigan State has been outstanding in their red zone defense all year. 28 offensive possessions their opponents have had in the red zone, and only 9 touchdowns they've given up. And the only team better has been Notre Dame, who's playing in the national championship game.
They only allowed 5 rushing touchdowns all year. 3rd and goal. TCU had things working until they got down here to the goal-to-go situation. Fly sweep. This one will score. Matthew Tucker, touchdown. Tucker got ahead of steam, took it to the corner, and the Horned Frogs on the board first.
The reason this play worked is because the threat of the quarterback run. You saw a lot of defenders zeroing in on Boykin. Watch the linebackers and safety zero in on Boykin, and then Tucker was able to get to the edge. That's all set up by the quarterback run.
Tucker's 6th touchdown rushing of the year. The extra point by Oberkrom is good. Good looking drive after they got the 1st down by penalty. Their quarterback and tailback took over. 73 yards in 9 plays. 7-0 TCU. Matthew Tucker's 4-yard touchdown romp with 5:45 remaining first quarter. Good looking drive.
Yeah.
Sort of stalled until they got that penalty, and then they got in gear. Boykin with 2 runs that totaled 32 yards helped the cause. Oberkrom's kick. Nick Hill will take a knee.
Well, you mentioned the 2 Boykin runs for 32 yards. Not just the yardage, but it affected the Michigan State defense. This was the 2nd run. And now that that has become a legitimate threat, I want you to watch the touchdown run and what happens to the Michigan State defenders as this fake is made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys all looking in at the quarterback, wondering if he's going to run. Tucker keeps it and is able to get to the edge. Those 2 runs by Boykin set up that play and the Tucker touchdown.
And it was an easy seal block down there at the goal line for Josh Boyce, the wide receiver. See if Le'Veon Bell can get something going for Michigan State. So far, nothing. Might have gotten a yard. Kenny Kane made the stop. He's the only senior starter on the defensive depth chart for TCU.
Many of you were watching Texas before this game. Texas and TCU tied, playing the most true freshmen this year. 16 true freshmen TCU has played this year. You mentioned the one senior on the defensive depth chart. This is a very young football team that's going to be a handful in the Big 12 next year.
That's why they're pretty excited around the TCU program. Looking ahead to 2013. Catch by Burbridge. Just a little bit shy of the first down. Bring up 3rd down and 1. Normally that's where it's good to have a 237-pound tailback, and then they bring in some extra beef to go with him, including Michael Dennis, number 94. Checks in a lot of times as a tackle eligible, and he's going to line up basically in that spot there too. Taquan Hammock is in there at fullback. The power package here, and on a direct snap, Le'Veon Bell's got a first down. On 3rd and 1, got about 4. Looking ahead, the Capital One Bowl on January 1st. Georgia lost to this Michigan State team in 3 overtimes last year in their bowl game. So Aaron Murray and company against Nebraska's pass defense that was first in the country. That'll be a nice matchup. Georgia and Nebraska coming up 1 o'clock on ABC January 1st. Picks up the snap, and Maxwell gets it out to the 42-yard line.
Now that win by Michigan State over Georgia last year snapped a 5-game bowl losing streak for Michigan State. This is their 6th bowl appearance in a row under Mark Antonio, but that was their first win.
He was telling us we kind of lived off that for about 8 months. We were bragging about winning that bowl game, and now he said we got to quit bragging and win another one. Try to make it back-to-back postseason wins. 2nd down and 6. Maxwell gives it off to Bell. Broke one tackle, a stiff arm, and then tagged out of bounds by Kenny Kane. Very close to the first down.
Well, and that's where you see that statistic where he leads the country in yards after contact. I mean, he's not going to run away from a lot of people. He's a big target. He takes a lot of hits, but he breaks arm tackles. I mean, it takes a lot to get him on the ground. And there you see his numbers, 834 yards after contact. More than half of his total for the season.
Came in with 1,648 yards, which was number 1 of the Big Ten and 3rd in the country in yards per game at about 138. And again, it's 3rd down and less than 1. And here he comes again, puts his head down, and he got leveled. Kane is in on the stop again, and Olabode from the secondary.
Well, you got to go low, and that's what they did. They came in low. Olabo is the guy who got underneath the pads. He got underneath the pads of Le'Veon Bell and took his legs out. Didn't allow him to fall forward for the first down. That's a beautiful tackle by a smaller safety against the big back.
I think for a split second there was a thought about going for it on 4th down, but out comes the punting unit. As you look behind Sadler, the left footer, and this one really sailed on it too far. In fact, it hits the end zone on the fly. And so TCU gets it back with a nice defensive stand on 3rd down and a yard, leading 7-0.
I would bet the next time they get in that 3rd and short, they'll go back to the direct snap to Le'Veon Bell.
That worked a lot better, didn't it?
Yep.
And we saw Monte Ball on that graphic we had a little while ago about yards after contact. The Rose Bowl is on ESPN New Year's Day. Monte Ball leading the Badgers against the Cardinals, vaulted D, and the granddaddy of them all. And the return of Barry Alvarez to coach one more time. Rose Bowl presented by Vizio. Wisconsin and Stanford. Coverage starts 4:30 Eastern. New Year's Day on ESPN and also live on the Watch ESPN app.
That'll be an interesting game. Two teams that will both try to impose their will physically on the opponent.
Boykin on 1st down, throws it, completes. Josh Boyce, but holding on for dear life back there is Darquez Denard, and he makes the tackle after a short game.
Denard is an outstanding corner. I mean, he has had a tremendous year. He's physical, 5'11", 188 pounds. out of Georgia, and he is, again, they play their corners in press coverage almost every down, and they put him out there on an island, and Denard has just had a phenomenal season.
Johnny Adams not in the lineup tonight due to a bad foot, and so his spot's being manned by Mitchell White tonight. Second down at 6. Catalan got a couple. That's about all. Marcus Rush, first guy to make contact, along with Max Bulla, the middle linebacker. Bulla, third generation Spartan. His granddaddy Hank, his dad played in the mid-'80s for Michigan State. He's got a little brother on the team and another one to come, and then I think they're out of bullets for a while.
And they're both linebackers too, right?
Yep.
The two younger brothers. Dad Shane was a co-captain during his time at Michigan State.
Third down and 3. Again, all the Horned Frogs have a look to the sideline. Clock winding down. 3 seconds. 2. Are they going to get it off? He's asking for it. Now did they get a timeout call before the clock expired?
I don't think they did.
Nope.
On the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Normally a coach on the sideline, if he doesn't think his quarterback is going to get that call or isn't aware of the clock, the coach will call that from the sideline.
Right.
But neither Boykin nor Gary Patterson called the timeout, and that's a waste of 5 yards.
It's not going to make it 3rd and long now. 3rd and 8.
Third down conversions have been difficult for Boykin. Even though he's a good threat as a runner, he's still young, and reading and recognizing coverage is the hardest part of playing quarterback.
3rd and 8. Rolls to throw and lets it fly deep in the middle, and it's caught. Listenby down inside the 20. Got a penalty marker in the backfield, but he just threw that one as far as he could, and the other true freshman ran under it.
Well, I think there's going to be additional yardage for roughing the quarterback at the end of the play.
Personal foul, hands to the face on the defense. That penalty's declined.
Nope.
First down.
This should not have been a completion, though. I mean, credit Boykin for staying in there and making the throw, but Isaiah Lewis, the safety, just misplayed this ball. It was a little bit underthrown, and Lewis is in position to make a play on the football and just misjudges it. I mean, he was there, and the ball went over his hand and into the receiver, and a big first down for TCU.
And that's the first catch of the year for Colby Listenby, the freshman. A 59-yarder. That's the way you do it. Go into a bowl game and go deep.
One of the things when we talked to Jared Anderson, the offensive coordinator at TCU, we asked him about Michigan State's defense. He said they've been great in the red zone, and they have not given up very many big plays. Nebraska hit them for a couple, but for the most part, they don't give up big plays. Well, that was a big play that they gave up, but I think it was because it was poorly played by the safeties.
See if we have an additional call here. The officials having a conference. They've also gone over to talk to Mark D'Antonio. And now we're set for play, and that'll wind the first quarter to a close. So TCU pitching a shutout so far. Their offense has the only touchdown, leading 7-0, but threatening again here in Tempe when we return.
We didn't always watch football at Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's do this.
Protect the football. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
No success is overnight. It's about working harder and smarter. It's the culmination of a million decisions. It's where you see yourself going and how you choose to get there. the 2013 GS. Our boldest response ever. There's no going back.
Sometimes what we suffer from is bigger than we think. Like
the two quarterbacks for Boykin. 32 rushing yards on their 73-yard touchdown march. So he was a big help. So far, Michigan State and Andrew Maxwell haven't been able to muster too much on offense. So TCU, after that long pass play to Colby Listenby, has it inside the red zone again. First down at the 19-yard line. Play action. Boykin lofts it to the end zone and dropped by Ladarius Brown. Should have been a touchdown.
Well, Ladarius Brown got tangled up with Denard, and Denard actually tripped and fell down. He was in position, and right here he's going to stumble, and that's going to create separation, but Brown not able to get the catch. You're not going to get that kind of separation against Denard very often.
Again, 5 receivers with Catalan, the tailback, in the slot on the left side, and now he's on the move on 2nd and 10. Flags are down and whistles blow as well.
Encroachment on the offense. Number 82 lined up in the neutral zone. Prior to the snap, there was no snap. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Josh Boyce, been their #1 receiver the last 2 years. Guilty of the penalty. That backs him up now to the 24.
Have to rush under control, because you always have to be aware of Boykin's ability to crease you if you get out of pass lane discipline on your rush.
Again, 3 wideouts to the top. And they show the same set with Catalan flanking Boykin in the shotgun. This time they give it to him. Spins his way down to the 21. Not quite back to the original line of scrimmage. Max Bola made the tackle. So here they are with a 3rd down situation again. And now Michigan State is changing up some personnel on the fly. And TCU is ready to go. They had to hustle just to get extra DBs out there. 3rd and 12. TCU needs to get to the 9-yard line for the first down.
Where Golston needs to show up for Michigan State.
There comes the pressure, and down he goes. And it was Zanakos Allen, the outside linebacker. That's his 3rd sack of the year.
He's standing up on the outside. They like to zone blitz, and he's just going to beat him to the outside. Golston goes inside. Allen comes outside and beats the tackle. Again, remember, these 2 tackles for TCU. One is a true freshman, Collins, number 69, who was beat on that play. Number 59, Fabulage, started out as a defensive lineman in his first year playing offensive line.
Let you know that penalty and then the sack. This is not going to be an easy field goal for Oberkrom, the freshman. Kick on the way, and he tucked it in the right upright. He's been pretty darn good this year. That's his 20th field goal of the year, and it puts him over 100 points on the season. And it also stretches TCU's lead to 10-0.
The GMC Holiday Event. For some
10-0 TCU. And Michigan State's problems with scoring, Todd, continue so far in the bowl game.
Well, this is an offense that only scored 25 touchdowns. And it's, you know, part of it's a new quarterback. Part of it is they had 6 different offensive line combinations because of injuries and different reasons. They just now have kind of settled that the last 4 games. And another part is they have not been particularly dynamic on the outside at wide receiver. Last year they had B.J. Cunningham, who had 79 catches and 12 touchdowns. They had Keyshawn Martin, who had 66 catches. They just haven't had the same kind of productivity.
Overcrone's kick to the 3-yard line to Nick Hill. Hill got a little crease, got across the 30. Nice open field tackle by Jeff Hooker, or he might have been off to the races. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, as we watch the freshman Trevon Boykin playing for TCU tonight, keep in mind it is not out of the question that Casey Pahal, their quarterback who started the season, played 4 games and then left the team after being arrested on suspicion of DWI. I spoke to his father, Stan, who was very gracious to give me information about his son. He has completed an inpatient addiction program. He's currently working on his outpatient. He's doing 3 days a week in that, 3 days a week in AA. His dad said he came home for Christmas and on Christmas Day went to an AA meeting. So he's trying to get done what he needs to do. He could rejoin school as soon as January 14th.
Well, we wish Casey the best. Yeah. Meanwhile, a #2 quarterback in for Michigan State, and Connor Cook, same carry anyway as Andrew Maxwell on the sideline.
And this has nothing to do with Andrew Maxwell. They told us yesterday they wanted to get Connor Cook in the ball game some. It was hard to get him in at all this year because they had so many close games. And now's a good time in the bowl game, and it's early in the first half to get him in, get him some game reps.
And again, you get those 15 extra practices between the end of your season and your bowl game, and a lot of times you're looking ahead to next year and looking to get guys like this redshirt freshman some work. Here he is thrown on the run and throws a strike to his tight end, Deion Sims, and he's going to have a first down, I think.
Well, that's normally what he does. That's his 34th catch of the year, and 28 of his 34 catches have either resulted in a first down or a touchdown. He's a big target, 6'5", about 280 pounds, and has pretty soft hands as well.
So Michigan State first down at the 43. Go back to an I backfield with Le'Veon Bell at tailback. They're going to throw on first down. And they're going to throw deep. And incomplete. Danny Fowler, the intended receiver, or the closest man.
Kenny Kane was bringing pressure. Devontae Fields was also in the backfield. You know, I mentioned the 2 bookend defensive ends and why that's a problem. If a team only has one really great defensive end, you can slide your protections and get big guys and help taking care of one. But when you have 2, it forces you as an offense and protection to kind of be more balanced. And it's a much more difficult problem when you have excellent rushers on both ends.
Cook, the handoff to Bell, spinning his way out to the 48-yard line. Talking about that, Fields actually had the better stats, Ledge, but I think some of the time is because people were paying too much attention and chipping on Mapunga on the other side.
Well, Mapunga's started more games. I mean, he started 34 games. This is his 34th consecutive career start, and he missed a couple games with a foot injury. He missed completely 2 games and parts of 2 other games because of the foot injury, but when he's healthy, he's a real handful.
3rd down and 5 at the 48. There's a big tight end, Sims again in motion. Cook stands tall, fires across the middle, and it's in and out of the hands of Burbridge. And he should have had that one. Chris Hackett back there covering.
Chris Hackett did a nice job of never giving up on the play and stripping the ball out late. This is a beautiful throw by Cook. Right on the numbers. Should have been a catch, but you see Hackett never gave up on the play. He stripped it late and got the ball out for an incompletion.
Nice play by Hackett. Another one of the redshirt freshmen out of Tyler, Texas, and it forces Sadler into his 4th punt of the night. This time the return on all the way. High arching punt. Nice job by Dawson to try to fake out Michigan State, but they're down there to cover this thing inside the 5-yard line. Called for the fair catch, and they weren't biting on that. Le'Veon Bell's been held pretty much in check. So far, TCU with a 10-0 lead.
This family used Capital One Venture miles to come home for the holidays. That's double miles you can actually use. Sadly, their brother's white Christmas just got blacked out.
But it's the family party.
Really jingles your bells, doesn't it? My gift to you, the Capital One Venture card for any flight, anytime. That's double miles you can actually use. How illuminating. What's in your wallet? Let me guess, am I on the naughty list again?
at ProjectLuna.com.
So I switched my car insurance to State Farm. I saved $480. You know what that is?
Yeah, don't say it.
See what it is, right?
Yeah, don't.
It's a lot of dough.
Switch and you could save $480 with State Farm.
Everybody remembers the play. But what about the strategy? The teamwork? The execution? That is logistics. And that is what we do.
Everyone deserves the gift of all-day pain relief. This season, discover Aleve. All-day pain relief with just 2 pills.
ESPN College Football, the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl, is brought to you by the Capital One Cash Rewards Card with a 50% annual bonus and ProjectLuna.com.
Every year, the wildlife at the Phoenix Zoo gives way to some wild lights. Zoo Lights celebrates 3.6 million lights and more than 700 light displays out there. Pretty cool.
Yeah. You know, even though TCU kind of has things going the way they want, this is where the young quarterback Boykin needs to take care of the football, because in the 8 games that he started, when they take care of the ball, they win. And when they're careless with the ball, they lose. They're plus 12 in the turnover margin in their 7 wins.
Boykin throwing on the run, and too high for Sky Dawson. Plus 12 in those wins, as you said, minus 7 in the losses. Yeah. So it makes a big difference, and it's a tough spot down there inside the 5. At least in bowl games, you don't have that kind of noise from.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah. You can hear a little bit better down there on your own 4-yard line.
And even though Michigan State does not have the same kind of numbers interception-wise this year as they did a year ago, they have forced 7 interceptions in their last 3 games. And this is, they kind of need something like that right now to shorten the field for their offense.
2 tight ends, 1 Gilbert in motion. The give is to Tucker, and he has to dive forward just to get a couple. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and long. And again, it might be Boykin having a throw from at least around his own goal line.
I think this is a big play for the Michigan State defense right now. They got a great punt. They covered it well. They have TCU pinned back. They get a stop here. They have a chance to shorten the field and flip field position for their offense that's having a little bit of trouble moving the ball against TCU.
They've got both Tucker and Andre Dean back there to try to give Boykin a little pass protection. He is standing right on his goal line on 3rd down and 9. Michigan State fans trying to make some noise for their defense. From his own end zone, fires, and it's caught, and it's Boyce off to the races. Josh Boyce inside the 40. Boyce still on his feet all the way down to the 35-yard line. Big play on 3rd and 9.
Excellent protection and a nice call, keeping both backs in to block. It was a zone blitz. It was a beautiful read and throw by Boykin, but a really nice call by having 2 backs in the backfield to provide extra protection, anticipating pressure from Michigan State. They picked it up, and Boykin made the big throw.
Josh Boyce picks up 61 yards. We've got a flag, and we'll get the call here in a second. Ties the school record with 64 catches.
Play, personal foul, face mask on the defense, number 9. That's a 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
So it's going to be a 76-yard pickup from the 5-yard line on the other end by the time it's all said and done.
Well, there's the penalty. It wasn't on tackling the guy with the ball. It was after the play. on a receiver that was trying to block.
Brandon Carter got tangled up down there with Isaiah Lewis, and that's where the penalty was. So back inside the 20 for TCU after a 61-yard pickup and 15 more on the penalty, and they're threatening again. Catalan again will set up next to Boykin in the shotgun. First down at the 19. He'll get the carry. Quick feet out to the 11-yard line. William Golston holding on for dear life right there. But again, TCU pops up and runs back to the line of scrimmage. They'll have second down and 2 here.
Catalan is the most explosive back that they have. True freshman out of Westside High School in Houston, Texas. Had a little rough start in the Iowa State game, but has come on very nicely.
Empty backfield now for Boykin. Snap was a little wide, but he pulled it down and threw a nice ball out to Carter, and he didn't hold it. And that's the second or third drop we've seen by TCU's receivers tonight. Boykin put some heat on that one, and they don't hold it, so it's third down and 2.
I think one of the reasons that Michigan State has been so good defensively in the red zone, you don't have to cover as much field. And you can press the corners, and you don't have to cover depth. And they're able to squeeze receivers a little bit better on a shorter field.
A long 2 yards on third down. And now Boykin, the option pitch. Catalan not going to get there. Michigan State, and they'll hold, and the ball came out at the end. Chris Norman, the outside linebacker, kept stretching that thing out. So nice job by the Michigan State defense.
That was really good defense. Trying to get the ball to the perimeter. Michigan State did not lose leverage on the play. They forced it outside. There was another defender each time they tried to bounce it, and they not only stopped them, they created a loss of yardage situation.
Oberchrome hit from 47 yards earlier in this quarter. This will be a 31-yard field goal attempt. Trying to hit his 21st field goal of the season. And this one is up and good. This one inside the left pipe. Inside the right upright on the first one. Both good. 13-0 TCU. Along with you. And Sparty's got to get something going here now before halftime. 8:18 remaining and being shut out 13-0 by TCU.
Well, we were talking during the break. Will they come back with Connor Cook, or will it be Andrew Maxwell? Cook looked pretty poised that last series he was in, had the drop pass by Burbridge. I would imagine they'll go back to Maxwell, but Cook was pretty impressive.
Yep. Nick Hill from the 4-yard line. Had a good return last time. This one's better. And a flag, though, as he got all the way to the 45-yard line, but I think it's coming back.
Yeah, I thought it was a low, looked like a low block. A block below the waist on the return that got him to the edge. Might have been Larry Caper.
During the return, illegal block below the waist on the return team, number 22. That penalty is half to the goal, first down.
That's exactly what it was. That's the call, and that's the guilty party. Negates a 45-yard return.
Yeah, you just can't go low on a guy on a return play like that in that part of the field, and a good call, and it negates a positive return, and now a longer field for the Spartan offense.
Much longer field. Going to be a difference of about 33 yards. 4 possessions, 4 punts, and 45 total yards. Not good so far. Now let's see. It will be Andrew Maxwell coming out of quarterback. So let's see if the junior from Midland, Michigan can muster some offense for the Spartans. So far, Le'Veon Bell's been held in check too. Maxwell throws and almost intercepted by Verrett. It would have been his 7th of the year. It hit him right in the pads, and he couldn't hold it.
Not only would it have been his 7th, it might have been the 5th pick 6 for Michigan State, because Verrett read it, came underneath the tight end. In beautiful position, just couldn't make the catch. Dangerous throw by Andrew Maxwell.
Second team All-American, almost had him another one. So another chance for the Michigan State offense. Maxwell throws into some dangerous territory this time too, and is this one picked off? Sam Carter saying that he got his hands under it, but the officials say otherwise.
Kenny Kane got the deflection, and 2 plays in a row, Michigan State comes out throwing, and TCU is right on it, getting their hands on the football first. Kane deflects it, knocks it up in the air, and then Carter tries to come for the interception. Ooh, that was close.
Yep. Yeah, did a one-hopper. You can see at the end of the play it was loose. But a good play on it, and now empty backfield as Maxwell set to throw for the 3rd straight time. Let's see if it's as dangerous this time. This one's right on the money. That's a first down throw. His best throw of the night. Yeah. Tony Lippett.
Good for him. You know, I mean, that's tough. You throw 2 that almost get picked, and you got a 3rd down deep in your own territory, and you stand right in there and throw a strike.
I mean, it was a strike right where it had to be. And first down at the 24 with 7:40 remaining in the half. Michigan State's best pass play of the night. Mumphrey in motion. It's a toss to Bell. He wants to throw it. I think they want to throw it back to the quarterback. This is going the wrong way, fellas. Well, it looked like it was going to be a throwback to the quarterback and then maybe another throw because he was well behind the line of scrimmage. But that one blew up in their face.
You know, the coaches told us Le'Veon Bell has a real high football IQ, has a great feel for the game.
Grounding. The ball did not get to the line of scrimmage. However, the ball was tipped. Second down.
And on that one, Le'Veon Bell should have just run the football because it was a design for him to throw it back to Maxwell. But when he had to double clutch it, that play had no chance. They're lucky they got an incompletion out of that.
They definitely are. Now they've got Fowler in motion. Second down at 10. Straight handoff to Le'Veon Bell. And nice move in the hole to pick up about 5 yards. He put a move on Kevin White there to pick up the extra yardage. Holly?
Well, Le'Veon Bell told me before that he actually played some quarterback in high school. He did a lot of Wildcat stuff for his junior and senior year. So I think it was one of those cases of, I want to throw because I can throw. But it was a much better game the second time when we just ran the ball.
Well, if you're going to have your halfback throw, I'd rather have him throw down the field instead of be backwards. Those backward throws are dangerous.
Yeah, that never can be good. 3rd down and 5. Important down here for Michigan State. Try to keep something going here with 6:40 remaining in the quarter. A bunch set of receivers, and now one of them, Larry Caper, goes back to the left side. The throw is that way, and it's Deion Sims, but he's about a yard shy, I think, of the first down.
Yeah, I think Sims, I mean, that big body's got to get another yard deep on that route. He's a big target, and so he's going to shield defenders. If he gets a yard deeper, it's a first down. The drive continues. As it turns out, you got to punt the football.
And that means Mike Sadler again with his 5th punt upcoming. He's done a nice job, averaging almost 49 a kick. And he's made Sky Dawson fair catch on the other end.
TCU using a safe punt here, expecting there could possibly be a fake.
Sadler wide snap, and this kick not a good one off the side of his foot. And where are they going to spot this thing? Wow. On their own side of midfield. A 16-yard kick after I just bragged up Sadler averaging 49. He almost missed that one. The snap was wide, but the kick was worse. .30, number 8 LSU, number 14 Clemson in the Chick-fil-A Bowl in Atlanta. Capital One Bowl Week Monday on ESPN, also live on Watch ESPN.
I'll tell you what, I think this is a good time to go deep right here. This is Boyce working against a true freshman, Trey Waynes. You've had a long time out. You got great field position. Maybe take a shot with your top receiver.
You could take a shot after the short punt. They do throw, but Brandon Carter is brought down in the open field on a nice play by Curtis Drummond. So they only got about 4 out of that. Second down and 6 at the 45 as we're down to 5:25 remaining in the half. Michigan State can't afford to give TCU even a field goal out of this if they can help it. So it'll be a long road back for a team that suffers putting points on the board if they're down 16 or 20-0 to TCU. Nice little hurdle in traffic by Tucker. And he got it down a yard shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and a yard, a long yard.
Part of what has helped TCU, you mentioned their first year in the Big 12, and they played a brutal stretch to end their season. Their last 4 games were all against BCS-ranked teams. They won against West Virginia and Morgantown in overtime. They beat Texas in Austin.
Play action. Boykin throws out in the flat. What a catch by Matthew Tucker out of the backfield to get the first down. Boy, I thought that one was too far in front of him, but he stretched out and made a heck of a catch.
Nice play fake on 3rd and short. Boykin does a nice job getting outside and getting the ball out in front of Tucker.
Tucker, not a guy known to catch that many balls out of the backfield. Came in with 8 catches on the season, and that one, you can't find one much better than that. First down at the 36. Drive stays alive. A little over 4 minutes to go in the quarter. Tucker and Catalon in there together again. The 2 guys sharing tailback duties. They're both in there with Boykin. Play action. Little mix up there, but he lofts one out. It's intercepted. Picked off by Isaiah Lewis. And Lewis with Bulla leading the way as a blocker coming back the other way. There's the play Michigan State needed. Mistake by the young quarterback and the 2nd interception of the year by Isaiah Lewis.
At the 36.
Well, Boykin felt pressure, and he got rid of this ball quickly, and he threw into traffic. Golston, number 2, was getting pressure right up inside, and Boykin just got rid of it. And Isaiah Lewis, who misplayed a ball earlier and had one go over his head, this time's in position to make the pick.
So they do prevent TCU from doing any further damage, and now can Michigan State get some points before the break. Maxwell at quarterback as they start from the 36-yard line. Bell cuts it outside. Nice tackle in the open field by Kevin White, who's in there starting tonight. 3 starts a year ago, and playing well now, the sophomore out of Round Rock, Texas.
Again, this defense is not particularly big, but they can run, and they're good tacklers. Now, Gary Patterson knows how to coach defense, and they have been perennially one of the top defensive football teams in all of college football, year in and year out. Guess that's what perennially means, right?
Complete out to the 40. Mumphrey brought down immediately by Kenny Kane. You talked about that kind of murderer's row that they played in the end of the season. And they were the #1 ranked defense in the Big 12, and they played 5 of the top 12 offenses in the country. That's kind of hard to do.
And they were, they're going to be a good football team next year. There's no question about it. And you're playing in a league that knows how to play offense. I mean, Baylor, who just won their bowl game and finished on a hot streak, the #1 offense in the country.
We saw them get started on that hot streak against Kansas State. And speaking of which, Kansas State will see in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl against Oregon coming up next Thursday. Lippett shaken up on the play, twisted his ankle after making the catch. And the sophomore out of Detroit still on the deck.
I think Michigan State has had a problem with drop passes this year too. I mean, we've seen a couple tonight that were catchable balls that were dropped or had stripped, and that's hard to be consistent on offense. It's hard to move the chains and score points. I think this should have been a catch by Lippett. Dropped the football, and they got to punt it again.
And the right foot or ankle is the problem. They'll check on him with 2:27 remaining. 13-0 TCU. Tony Lippett limping off, but under his own power. And with the drop ball, it's 4th and 5, and it's Sadler to punt again. Last one was only 16 yards, but before that he punted very well. And taken just outside the 20 by Sky Dawson. With 2:20 remaining in the half. Capital One Bowl week continues. New Year's Day, 4 great games. Mississippi State, Northwestern get together in the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl at noon on ESPN2. Noon on ESPNU. Purdue and Oklahoma State in the heart of Dallas Bowl. Georgia, Nebraska, Capital One Bowl, 1 o'clock on ABC. The SEC and Big Ten runners up. And South Carolina and Michigan in the Outback Bowl, 1 o'clock on ESPN. Capital One Bowl week Tuesday. Try to keep your days straight. Basically, just turn on your TV and we're going to have bowl games for you all the way until the national championship game. That's the cool thing about it. All you got to do is turn on ESPN or ESPN2 and you got a bowl game. So 2:20 remaining and all the timeouts remaining for TCU. This time the keeper by Boykin, and he got back stumbling to the line of scrimmage. Shalik Calhoun made the stop. Boykin runs all the way over to the sideline to get the call.
Well, I think TCU would be very content to go into the locker room up 13-0. Their offense had the turnover on the last possession, but it didn't cost them anything. Boykin has played pretty well under control, and their defense has totally stifled Michigan State.
All 3 wideouts to the top on 2nd and 11. If they do to try to put it up, but they won't. They're going to keep it on the ground. A catalog. And nice run by the freshman out of Houston. Run out of bounds on the sideline with 1.5 minutes to go in the half. Michigan State's defense has been out there a long time in this first half. Both these teams in the top 5 in time of possession in the country. TCU number 4, Michigan State number 3. A lot of offensive coordinators will tell you, we don't care how long we have the ball. We just want to put points on the board.
Yeah, it doesn't mean a lot if you possess it and don't score.
Right. 3rd down and 3. Empty backfield. Boykin fires too high and almost picked off again. R.J. Williamson, rather, had a play on the ball, and that would have been a big turnover. So we've seen Boykin do some good things, and on the last 2 series, not so good.
Well, again, you know, he's still a young quarterback, and Gary Patterson's saying right now, we don't need that. We don't need anything to give them a chance to fight back into this game. We've got the game under control in the first half. Be smart with the football. If you have to throw it away, throw it away.
Ethan Perry to kick.
Oh.
And again, out of bounds, and this one's got a good field position.
One shank deserves another, I guess.
Exactly. Let's check in with Reese Davis. Reese.
Brad, coming up at halftime, Big 12 off to a good start in bowl games. We'll show you how Texas rallied against Oregon State. In the snow at Yankee Stadium, the Orange able to crush an old foe in West Virginia. And Rice rolled past Air Force, which made schools from the state of Texas 5-0 in bowl games. TCU trying to make it a half dozen, and perfect ones at that.
All right, Reese, we'll see you guys in a minute. 19 seconds. 13-0 shutout right now for the Horned Frogs. Michigan State has its timeouts remaining as well. After the poor punt, Maxwell running for his life, trying to throw it on the run or guiding some receivers around. And threw it intended for Mumphrey and almost got it to him.
Well, and again, to me, that's another drop pass. I mean, Andrew Maxwell did what he could to extend the play. He's had some trouble being accurate on the run, but he makes a play here. And it's a good throw that should have been caught for a first down. And Mumphrey, the leading receiver with 41 catches coming in, not able to secure the catch.
And you saw Andrew's frustration a little bit, knowing that that would have been a huge first down.
Yeah.
Doesn't make your life any easier if your receivers aren't holding on to it. 2nd and 10. Comes to the slant. This one's up in the air. Almost picked off on the ricochet by Olabo. Kevin White tipped it.
Well, TCU's defense is just dialed in. I mean, they are dialed into the pass game. And on these quick throws, I mean, they are breaking on the football. Kevin White, that's the 3rd time that they've got a deflection that almost results in an interception.
Very close. But again,
I think Michigan State may need to go to some double moves. Fake the slant, fake the quick throw, and then try to go down the field.
Spartans get another chance here with just over a minute left. Le'Veon Bell on the run, got across midfield. Might have gotten 5 yards actually by the end of it. And the clock winding, 50 seconds remaining.
And that was a case where Mark D'Antonio, I don't think he trusted throwing the football again.
Right.
Because they've had so many close calls with tip passes that are almost picked off. He goes to a simple run play on 3rd and long and says, we'll just punt and try to make some corrections in the locker room to create some plays. But I think double moves against this aggressive TCU defense has got to be part of their plan at halftime.
TCU doesn't have anybody back right now as a punt returner. So Sadler just boots it up there and trying to get his coverage unit down there. Does inside the 15-yard line, down at about the 13. So we're down to just 9 seconds remaining in the half. And the problems continue for Michigan State. We said coming in, excellent defense, best in the Big Ten. They don't give up points, they don't give up yards, but they don't score enough points, and that's what's happening here tonight.
Well, that's right, and they haven't really even threatened TCU's defense. You know, they've got to put some threat into them, and I really think one of the things they've got to work on is say, okay, the TCU's breaking on our short stuff. They're breaking on the slants. They're getting their hands on some football. We have to make sure we have good protection, but we got to go some slant and goes, some out and up, some kind of double moves to try to stretch this TCU defense.
I would think the one thing Mark D'Antoni can hang his hat on right now is he can go to the locker room and say, guys, we're only 2 possessions down, 2 scores, because it is halftime. As TCU trying to keep that teams from Texas streak going that Reese was talking about, and they are halfway there. The Horned Frogs at the end of the first half, leading the Spartans of Michigan State and pitching a shutout to boot, 13-0. Our halftime score, and Holly's on the field with Gary.
Well, Coach, your young quarterback's playing in his first bowl game. How do you assess his performance so far?
It's all right. The last 2 drives, he's trying to do too much. You know, we throw an interception, just about threw another one. He needs to calm down. We don't need to be an All-American tomorrow. We just got to keep doing what we're doing and try to get a score and understand the kind of team that we're playing. We got to play for another 30 minutes.
You've got a young defense. What growth have you seen in them in the last month off? Because they're doing a great job so far.
Well, I mean, they really, you know, we ended up leading the Big 12 in total defense. So really they're playing like, you know, we have the last half of the season. We just got to understand we've turned some guys loose on play action. We got to do a better job, and we got to keep tackling.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Pitching a shutout at halftime, and a lot of his teams have been that good over the years, as Todd talked about. 13-zip at the break as we head back to the studio. The halftime report. Reese and the guys are standing by, fellas.
You're watching ESPN's presentation of Capital One Bowl Week.
Fly sweep. This one will score. Matthew Tucker, touchdown. And we welcome you back to the 2012 Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl in Tempe, Arizona. At halftime, TCU, a 13-0 lead. Brad Nussler, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe with you. We somehow survived getting sauce on our ties with the wings we just had at halftime. You know, right now, Boykin, those last 2 series, and when Gary talked to Holly going to the locker room, made some mistakes. He just has to manage the game in the way their defense is playing right now.
Yeah, I mean, the defense has held Michigan State to 3 first downs, 76 yards of offense. They have not been threatened, so Gary Patterson is exactly right. He doesn't need to try to be an All-American. Manage the game, make good decisions, and number 1, take care of the football.
Le'Veon Bell, who Holly talked about in the pregame, tweeted that we're going to run it down their throats. Right now he's averaging about 3.5 yards a carry. So we'll see if the Big Ten's leading rusher comes to the plates in the second half as well. TCU is going to get the football first. Kevin Muma to kick off for the Spartans. A one hopper at the 10 taken by Sky Dawson. And Dawson almost snapped through there, got out to the 30-yard line. And that's where TCU will go to work as we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. And part of that summary, the problem of Le'Veon Bell, as I mentioned, averaging 137 a game and has only 38 at the break. Interception, that was a problem for Boykin, but his legs helped him on their 73-yard touchdown drive. And he also picked up big yardage, 61 yards on this play to Josh Boyce, who was the leading receiver of the ball game. And he is one shy of the single season school record right now, Josh Boyce, as he's right on 64 catches on the season. So first down, TCU to open the third quarter. They fake the handoff and Boykin takes it straight up the middle, and he got 5 or 6 before Bulla knocks him off his pins. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, I caught up with Michigan State coach Mark D'Antonio at the half, and I talked to him about adjustments they could make with their receivers in the passing game. He said, look, they're a good defensive football team. Every time we've made some plays downfield, they've punched the ball out. They've been physical. They've pressed us. He needs his receivers to be a little bit more physical, and he said penalties are killing us. We've got to quit hurting ourselves against this very good team.
Yeah, too many drop passes. They do have to start holding on to whoever, be it Maxwell or Connor Cook, whoever's in there. They got to give him some help. Tucker now flanking Boykin in the TCU backfield. They fake it in, quick throw to the outside, and Brandon Carter with a first down.
Well, Boykin is doing some of the same things that the dual threat quarterbacks that gave Michigan State some problems have done also. I mean, his numbers are kind of right along the lines of the numbers Braxton Miller, Denard Robinson, Taylor Martinez had, running and throwing and creating plays. And again, take away the turnover and the almost turnover, and he's played a pretty solid ball game.
As Ledge mentioned before, those quarterbacks that gave him trouble were all losses, albeit close losses, in those Big Ten games. 5 losses by 13 points total for Michigan State. Second down and 8 at the 45. And again, Boykin comes all the way over to the sideline.
Michigan State playing a lot more now with Trey Waynes, number 15, as a true freshman, a redshirt freshman from Kenosha, Wisconsin. They're very high on him. Think he's very talented. Just has not played very much this year. He's in there right now, up in press coverage.
Play action. Boykin fires too high. Incomplete, and Curtis Drummond was the closest guy. Brandon Carter, the intended receiver. So Michigan State one play away from getting their defense off the field and not allowing TCU any further damage. Let's see if they can stop a third down and 8.
A lot of times Michigan State in these situations shows a 3-man front. They like to go zone blitz and play 3 deep behind it, but still create pressure. A couple times Boykin has picked that up and made a big throw.
And he picked up half of that third down yardage on that one throw to Boyce. Here he's going to try to run for it. He's going to be stopped shy. Golston and Isaiah Lewis combine on the south.
That's good.
Now this is going to be interesting. This is on Michigan State's side of the field. Now punting unit's coming out.
Yeah. That's a defensive-minded coach that says, look, I'm not going to put our defense in a bind. We have shut down this offense. We're going to continue to make them go the long field and see if they can score.
Ethan Perry to punt, and Andre Sims way back there on the other end. Sims around his own 10-yard line. Has to really run up just to make this catch at the 21. So they don't get much out of the punt. We'll see if Michigan State and Andrew Maxwell can get something going offensively when we come back.
WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
Spartan fans looking for something to cheer about. Let's see if their offense can give them that from the 21-yard line. So far, shut out tonight by TCU, the #1 defense in the Big 12. Le'Veon Bell, quiet, with 38 yards rushing so far. Sims, the tight end, in motion. High snap. They get the handoff to Bell, and maybe got 4. Already his paperwork has been filed inquiring about where he may go in the National Football League if he decides to come out. He's got a year of eligibility left, so it may or may not be the last time Le'Veon Bell is in a Spartan uniform. And Coach D'Antonio said we just want to get this bowl game, have him play as well as he can, try to win it, and then we'll sit down and talk about the future. Still looking for a big gainer. This one's going to be big enough for a first down, though. And he's still backpedaling his way out around the 35-yard line. I think they'll say he was down at the 34.
Well, again, you see why he leads the nation in yards after contact. Over 800 and some yards, and he's just a big, powerful back. And it takes more than one guy to get him on the ground, especially if you try to tackle him high. And when TCU has had success stopping him tonight, it's been because they've hit him low underneath the pads and knocked his feet out from under it.
They're going to keep feeding him here. And he does have it working right now. His offensive line coming off the ball well. Holly?
Well, growing up, Le'Veon Bell wasn't allowed to play football. His mom, Lisa, didn't like it. She thought it was dangerous. Well, his Uncle Walter snuck into football practice one day. Mom said, I found out later. I was a little upset, but it was okay. She said, I really didn't even like football till he was in about the 7th grade, but now she's all in. I see her over there up dancing, really supporting the team, and he said, you know, I'm glad that I finally got to play. My Uncle Walter, he loved football, and he passed that love on to me.
There's Mom. He's 91% of their rushing yards this year. So he is their rushing game. And here he comes again. Trying to follow his blockers. Nice move there. And another first down. Flag down, though, as well.
Now, this could be a really painful penalty.
On the offense, number 64. The 10-yard penalty, second down.
Blake Treadwell with a holding call. And that look alone will tell the story. And the shake of the head just when they had things moving in the right direction. Starting to get the ground game churning like it had been the last month of the season. And then you have a holding call that backs it all the way up to the 31-yard line.
Blake Treadwell had a preseason knee injury, missed the first 4 games. Rejoined the lineup. Of course, his dad used to be the offensive coordinator, Don Treadwell, now the head coach at Miami of Ohio.
So 2nd and 13 is way different than what it would have been. Back at the 31. And now it's Maxwell to throw, maybe not. Going to run with it. It's a shoulder down and is taken down by Kenny Kane. Picked up about 3 yards on the carry. Kane, again, the only senior on the defensive depth chart. Second team all Big 12. Had a great game against Texas. A career high on that Thanksgiving night. 14 tackles in the win over the Longhorns. So 3rd down here and 9. Big play for Michigan State. Just trying to get something, anything working offensively.
Keep an eye on the tight end here, Sims, the big target in the middle of the field.
Plenty of time, and now running out of time is Maxwell, and he's just got to get rid of it and trying to get it back to the line of scrimmage as he's backpedaling from Chucky Hunter. And he's dropped way back to the 10-yard line after he let go of the ball.
I'm not sure that ball did cross the line of scrimmage.
I didn't think it did.
It's a question whether he got out of the tackle box. Yep, there's the intentional grounding call. They had to confirm that the ball did not cross the line of scrimmage because he definitely didn't get outside the tackle box.
Intentional grounding on the offense. The ball did not make it to the line of scrimmage. That's a penalty, puts the ball at the spot of the foul, loss of down, 4th down.
Well, again, I mean, they had a drive going. They had Le'Veon Bell heating up a little bit. The offensive line starting to assert itself, and then 2 penalties pretty much kill the thing, and not only kill the drive, but look where they have to punt from, and TCU stands to get excellent field position.
They were almost out to the 45-yard line, as Todd said, with Bell heating up, and now they're punting from their own end zone. What a difference a big penalty can make. Sadler, nice kick. Dawson has a shot at this one. Slipped. Did his knee go down? I guess not, and he's coming back the other way. Flags are down. Dawson down the sideline all the way inside the 25-yard line. But again, there's a penalty marker back at the 44.
It looked like a block in the back. I mean, I thought the flag would come out a little bit earlier than it did.
He did a heck of a job just to keep his balance after catching
Illegal
that punt.
block in the back during the return by the return team number 41. That's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
So there's about another 45 yards worth of difference in field position from what could have been.
Jonathan Anderson, the backup safety, number 41, is going to be the guilty party. Right there is where the block in the back occurs.
Didn't do much, but you just can't get your hands on the guy's back. Jack Foyer, our referee tonight, has made a lot of calls on a lot of penalties. We're just happy that he's made it into the third quarter. The last time he officiated a game here in an Arizona State game, he was knocked out by a player coming out of the tunnel, not cold, coming out at halftime, and Jack didn't make it through the whole game, so we're glad he's here in the third quarter tonight. Here's Boykin, the keeper, out to the 41. He is a heck of a runner.
Yeah. Well, again, he's put together pretty well. 215 pounds. He has a thick lower body, which makes it hard to arm tackle him because he's got strong legs.
Has a look to the sideline again, as he was in an empty backfield with 5 receivers. And usually Catalan comes and joins him, and that's the case here. And that's the ball carrier as well. Catalan hit immediately. Might have lost 2 yardage. Max Bulla was the first guy there. Golston from the defensive line.
And Bulla came on a blitz from the outside, timed it perfectly. And he is the first guy to slow him down. Watch him time this blitz. Slips right inside, gets a hold of the ankle, doesn't get the tackle, but slowed the back down enough to get the play behind the line of scrimmage.
Max walked into our meeting yesterday, and you just look at him and go, linebacker.
Yeah.
250 plus pounds of linebacker. He said he only weighs about 242 right now, though. Third down and 3. Boykin's going deep and overshot everybody. Cam White was the intended receiver, so TCU's got to punt it away.
William Golston hasn't had any sacks tonight, but he's done enough to kind of create some pressure. This time he comes inside, and I think just his presence and that long arm affected Boykin on that throw, on the overthrow.
He's another guy that might be playing his final game for Michigan State, even though he's got a year of eligibility remaining.
He's the guy you want getting off the bus first. That's for sure.
That's for sure. Fair catch taken inside the 10 by Andre Sims. So not good field position again for Michigan State, but no further damage. Still 13-0 TCU. Going that fast. Todd and I will be leaving out of there when next Thursday night / Friday morning after the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Right now it's the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl, and we've got Connor Cook back in at quarterback for Michigan State, and they've got to start at their own 10-yard line. And he keeps it and goes back to the line of scrimmage and no further. Devontae Fields, the sensational freshman we talked about earlier, in on the stop. Let's take a look at tonight's UPS efficiency updates. Michigan State on the season. They got a long ways to go to get to that seasonal average right now in offense. And still, that was 9th in the Big Ten. Back to the guy that had it going for him the last time they had the football, Le'Veon Bell. 3 or 4 that time before Chucky Hunter brings him down. They're making Le'Veon work for everything he gets tonight.
Yeah, there's just been a total absence of big plays for Michigan State. They just haven't had any plays that create big chunk yardage situations, and so everything has been a struggle. And now we're in another 3rd down situation deep in their own territory.
3rd down, 7 for Cook. Set to throw, maybe.
Got room.
Now he's going to run with it. Slides. And a 1st down out at the 24. Nice decision by Connor Cook, a redshirt freshman out of Hinckley, Ohio.
Connor Cook is a little bit taller than Andrew Maxwell, listed at 6'4", about 230 pounds. Played high school at Walsh Jesuit High School, good high school up in my area. Little breathing room. Again, they still need some kind of play down the field, a double move, and they need a receiver to make a play. Be tougher, be physical, and make a play down the field.
Here's Bell, cut down after maybe a yard. James McFarland, another one of those true freshman defensive players, makes the stop. And again, if you're just joining us, we were talking about it earlier in the ball game. You look ahead to TCU for next year. 70% of the guys playing right now are freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah, they are young. And then you add in the fact that they could get their quarterback, Casey Paul, back, and Wayman James, their tailback, who was hurt after a couple games. Those are 2 key guys that could be back. James will definitely be back.
Here's Bell. Again, a nice move. The fake to the inside. And then the back pedal for the 1st down. He might be big, but he's got a little bit of shake and bake to him.
He does. He's got a little bit of wiggle. We saw in some highlights earlier in the game his ability to leap over defenders that try to go too low on him, but he just kept spinning on that one. Looked a little bit like Eddie Lacy, the Alabama back, who does so much spinning when he anticipates contact coming.
So again, Michigan State doing it on the ground here and trying to get their offense on the TCU side of the football field. This one broken up, intended for Keith Mumphrey. And again, Jason Verrett.
See, the short to intermediate routes, TCU is just squeezing down on them. They don't feel threatened by the speed of the wideouts of Michigan State. But I still think potentially some kind of double moves might be effective.
2nd and 10, just outside the 35 for the Spartans. Le'Veon Bell, little draw play off the right side across the 40 to the 42. Is going to be a long 2 yards shy of the 1st down.
The other thing that we have not seen that might be a pretty good option for Michigan State, not necessarily on this 3rd down play, but if they convert here, would be a screen pass to Le'Veon Bell. Get him out in the flat a little bit, get a couple blockers in front of him, and see if he can make a play in space.
Tyquan Hammock, the fullback, is in there in the backfield with Bell. And he leads the way, and Bell puts his head down and takes some Horned Frog defenders with him for another 1st down. Well, they're getting a little sick of looking at him right now.
Yeah.
Or trying to tackle him at least.
Does a pretty nice job being patient, waiting for a little bit of a crease, and then throwing that big body in there, knowing what he needed for the 1st down.
1st down at the 47 with just over 3 remaining in the 3rd. Bell again tries a stiff arm. Jason Verrett stayed with him, though, pretty much, and helped knock him off his pins right at the midfield stripe. You mentioned Verrett earlier. Early in his career, as a freshman. Got burned by RG3 and the Baylor offense for 3 long touchdowns, and he thought about quitting and going home and said, maybe I'm not good enough. And Gary Patterson said, you got to get tougher and learn from your mistakes and keep playing. And now he's a first-team all Big 12 performer. Again, Bell brought down by Verrett, but not before he got it inside the 45-yard line.
Really nice block on the inside by Taekwon Hammock, the fullback. Straight power football right there. Brings up another 3rd and short. They're bringing in their heavy package. This might even be a direct snap.
They got Michael Dennis in there again, number 94, as basically an extra tight end tackle type.
Yep, direct snap to Le'Veon's got 2 fullbacks and an extra tackle.
Gee, I wonder which direction they're running. Oh, he's going to throw. Lost one out. He's got Hammock. Hammock on the other end. First down, Michigan State. Well, that time he threw it forward.
He sure did. Forget that backwards pass. What a great call. Excellent call by Dan Rauscher, the offensive coordinator. Le'Veon Bell doesn't give it away. He shows run and then steps back. It wasn't beautiful, but it was effective.
It's the best pass play of the night, we'll tell you that much. Down to the 16-yard line. So here's Michigan State now in the red zone. They've been waiting all night to get there. Connor Cook under center. He'll give it off to Le'Veon Bell. Only about a yard before Hasley, the linebacker, knocked him down as we check in with Holly.
Well, let's give the big fullback, Taekwon Hammock, some love. Guys, he was a linebacker all season. They've switched positions for him. He's playing fullback for the first time this year. He's done a great job. They wanted to move their regular fullback over to defense, so they did. So how about that? A catch. Linebacker all year, and now he's got a reception.
Sometimes you got to give the fullback some sugar. He's got him in scoring position right now. 2nd down and 9. Play action. Connor Cook fires just off the right hand of Benny Fowler. Couldn't get both hands up there to try to corner that in the end zone.
Beautifully covered by Verrett, though. I mean, he knew exactly where the receiver was, where the sideline was, pinned him right on the sideline, and there was nowhere for Connor Cook to go with the football.
That's getting to that point where Mark D'Antonio's going, how many chances are we going to get down on this end of the field? It's 3rd down and 9. It's a 2-possession game. They don't want to settle for a field goal here, if at all possible. Empty backfield for Cook. Scans the field, fires across the middle, crossing route, first down and more. Touchdown, Aaron Burbridge. Finally, Sparty finds the end zone.
Well, that was a little bit of a mismatch. It was a wide receiver, Burbridge, working on the walk-on linebacker, Hasley. Hasley not only got beat on the route, but he missed a tackle. And a completion turned into a touchdown for the Spartans.
Dan Conroy in for the point after. He's hit 78 straight extra points. 79 extra points. 13-7. All of a sudden, Michigan State got Le'Veon Bell warmed up, and then their backup quarterback with a touchdown toss. So now we got a ball game.
We didn't always watch football at Buffalo Wild.
Team plays to get the touchdown.
Well, Caper is going to run the clear out, and Burbridge is going to go on the cross. Now, the guy who gets exposed is that linebacker right there, the walk-on, Joel Hasley. He picks up Burbridge, but he gets beat right there, and then watch him miss the tackle, and that turned a completion into a touchdown for Michigan State.
Michigan State to kick. They've got their group all bunched up. They fake the onside and now come back into a regular formation. for Kevin Muma. Connor Cook, his first career touchdown pass, has made it a 13-7 ball game. And this kick won't be returned. They'll bring it out to the 25. Discover Orange Bowl is on ESPN New Year's night. Jordan Lynch and the MAC champion Northern Illinois squad looking to make a statement against the ACC champs from Florida State. The Discover Orange Bowl, number 15 Northern Illinois, number 12 Florida State, New Year's Day, 8:30 on ESPN. Also live on the Watch ESPN app and ESPN Radio. There's your quarterbacks, including E.J. Manuel, who's had a up and down career. When he's good, he's really good. And sometimes things don't go so well.
It'll be an interesting game. You know, that's a game where Florida State better not be taking Northern Illinois lightly.
And if you haven't seen Jordan Lynch, he's a fun cat to watch play football at that position. Here's Sky Dawson. They'd like to get him out in some space. He's a 10-3 100-meter man. Knocked out of bounds after a short gain. So now TCU can't just sit on this thing.
Nope.
Only up by 6 with a half-minute remaining in the third quarter.
Again, the undoing for TCU this year and their 7-5 record has been when they turn the ball over. And they've done it with their young quarterback. And you know, that's sometimes is the problem with playing so many freshmen, is they make freshman mistakes. And right now, you're right, they can't sit on it, but they certainly still have to take care of the football.
And clock winding down to end quarter number 3. Well, we got 15 minutes to find out who's going to win the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl for 2012. Stick around. End at 3, 13-7.
Have a good.
Le'Veon Bell got 35 of that 93 total on the last drive that got Michigan State back in the ball game. And so after being held scoreless for the 3rd straight bowl game in a row at halftime, Michigan State fights back to get in this thing as we enter the 4th quarter. TCU in front 13-7 with Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe. Brad Nessler with you in our final bowl game of 2012 before we hang around and soak up some more Arizona hospitality before the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl next week. Nice throw and catch. Brandon Carter had to go up.
Nope, they're going to wave it off.
Incomplete. I thought he had it. Got knocked off the ball by Curtis Drummond.
I think when he got upended, when he came down, the ball hit the ground. Well, that looks like there it
came out at the end, but
that looked like a catch, didn't it?
So instead of a first down, it's 3rd down and 8.
They're going to take a look.
They're going to review this, aren't they?
Yeah. I think Gary Patterson called a timeout to make sure that they do.
Timeout, TCU, number 1.
Again, went up high to make the catch, and they're going to take a look at this to see whether or not it was a reception or not. Ruled incomplete on the field. And it's 10-11 local time. Well, whether Gary Patterson took that timeout because of a misalignment or if he wanted a review, we'll never know. Didn't get the review, and it's 3rd down and long. Spartans look like they might bring a little extra pressure. Boykin, quick throw, low, but caught by Ladarius Brown, a yard shy of the first down. A full yard right there.
That's kind of a pet peeve of mine. You know,
why run that far and you don't get another yard or so?
You know, if the route is a 9-yard, an 8-yard route, and you need 9 for the first down, go ahead and make it a little bit longer. You can do that. Doesn't disrupt the timing that much.
Right. Brown, I think, upset with himself for that very reason. Perry's got to punt it on 4th and a yard. Sims, fair catch around the 17-yard line. So Michigan State's got it back, and they're only down 6 with 14 minutes remaining. Take a look at that Buick drive recap. This was on 3rd down and a yard. They bring in the jumbo package. Le'Veon Bell, almost a little Tim Tebow action there. Ran toward the line of scrimmage and then lofted it out to Tyquan Hamming with his first catch of the season. And that led to this 15-yard scoring toss to Burbridge on the crossing route from Connor Cook. And Connor Cook still in there.
Yeah, I think that's the right call.
Yep. Nice play fake. He's made good decisions so far. This time he doesn't have a chance to make a decision because of Devontae Fields. Oh, he's cat quick.
This was a mismatch. They tried to block him with the tight end. And, you know, he's hard enough for a tackle to block, but when you use a tight end to try to block him, that's trouble.
Everybody's freshman All-American list. Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12. How good is he going to become? He already is. His 10th sack of the season. Bell trying to take it wide, and the guy that prevented it first was Joel Hasley, the walk-on linebacker who stayed with him all the way to the sideline. The one area where TCU is not as strong as they've been in past years is linebacker, but you got to love a 6'1", 215-pound walk-on playing linebacker for you. Michigan State tonight, Le'Veon Bell is doing a better job than the other quarterbacks. Let's see if Connor Cook can change that right here from his own end zone. In trouble, throws as he's going down. Davian Pearson had him wrapped up as he threw it to the sideline. Close to a safety.
Passer was out of the pocket. The ball reached the line of scrimmage. 4th down.
Gary Patterson's thinking what I'm thinking, but it did make it to the line of scrimmage as he had to just unload that thing.
Well, what a nice defensive possession by TCU. They come up short on 3rd down. They punt the football, and their defense really turns it up a notch. Michigan State, you could feel, was starting to get a little momentum after that 3rd down stop, and TCU just shut them down, and now they'll get excellent field position after the punt.
Sadler deep in his own end zone to punt. He got it a mile in the air. Good kick. Dawson backpedaling all the way to the 40-yard line with a fair catch. Boy, when Sadler needed a bomb, he got one there off his left leg.
And the Venture Card from Capital One. Earn double miles you can actually use.
12:40 remaining in the ball game. As the Buffalo Wild Wings trophy will go to the winner, whoever comes out of the next 12:40. TCU in front. The trophy ceremony, by the way, will be on ESPN3 following our broadcast tonight. So after that booming punt by Sadler, his best of the night, TCU still has good field position at the 40-yard line. Quick throw and completes. And Josh Boyce, who's been the #1 target of Trevon Boykin's, got a big play there and a first down. And that's a new single season school record with his 65th catch of the year.
One thing that TCU's done a nice job of with Boyce here later in the year is not just use him as an outside receiver, move him into the slot some. Harder to get corner coverage on him, harder to get double coverage on him when he's in the slot. Pretty effective way to utilize him. Move him inside and let him work inside.
Here's the number 65. This ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete, as William Golston got that long arm on that 6'7" frame up in the air and swatted that one away.
Golston's had a pretty nice ball game. Pat Narduzzi, the defensive coordinator, said, you know, he had a great bowl game last year against Georgia. He's not always the most fundamental guy, but he's had good week of practice down here in Arizona. So they were hoping he would have a similar kind of game. He's been pretty effective tonight.
Empty backfield here for Boykin. On a 2nd down and 10. And now, as they've done most of the night, they bring Tucker back in to the backfield with him. Sidearm throw completes out to Cam White. And White got it to the 38 before Curtis Drummond and company backed him up. The clock winds its way under 12 minutes. TCU back in Spartan territory at the 37-yard line with a 3rd down and 4 and a big 3rd down, and Mark D'Antonio knows it.
Well, I think if you're Trevon Boykin here, if you don't see something quickly on the throw, use your legs to make a play. 3rd and 4, pick it up as a runner if you don't have a quick open throw.
There's the look, 1-2, and he's trying to get out of there, Todd. Running to the far sideline and get there.
See, not quick enough, though. I mean, you look, 1-2, if it's not there, take off and make a play with your legs. But he held it too long, and when he tried to run, the defense was on it. You know, you appreciate a guy staying in the pocket, but if it's not there, 1-2, now be an athlete and make a play. And he was just a little slow getting out of the pocket and making that decision. Gary Patterson's just going to continue to play this field position game. His defense has only given up 1 score. They've not given up very many yards. He's just going to try to pin Michigan State down again.
Ethan Perry, top freshman punter in the country, trying to drop this one inside the 10, and does right about at the 9-yard line with the fair catch. So 91 yards away, Michigan State with 10:26 remaining. They trail by 6.
To those who got this season's most tech-savvy way to travel, the Buick Verano, with Bluetooth and IntelliLink standard, enjoy. To those who got something else, well, there's still time. Celebrate the holidays and lease this 2013 Buick Verano with 2 years of
Well, those numbers aren't going to make you forget Kirk Cousins, Brian Hoyer, or Mike Stanton before him. Before them, I should say. And it looks like Maxwell's coming back in, Todd, 90 yards away from trying to get the lead here.
Well, I think this decision is based purely on game experience, you know, and Andrew Maxwell has that this year over Connor Cook.
He told us some of the best learning experiences, be they in wins or losses, was having to come from behind in the 4th quarter. And right now they're going to try to do it on the legs of Le'Veon Bell, who's closing in on a 100-yard rushing night after really having some tough sledding. He had 38 yards at halftime.
Well, the good news for Michigan State is they should be fairly comfortable playing in one-possession ball games, right? Because they did it all year. At one point in the season, up prior to their win over Minnesota to finish the year, they had 7 consecutive games that were one-possession games.
And that tied an NCAA record. Here's Bell into the secondary for the first time tonight. And he takes out half the TCU bench when he lands on their bench. And he's got a big play and a first down and a 21-yard pickup.
Nice stretch play. Again, the fullback out there in front. Hammock.
He lowered his shoulder at the end to make him pay for the tackle. And then took out about 8 Horned Frogs that weren't on the field on the sideline. 12th 100-yard game of his career, his 8th this season. He's got 3 200-plus games this year. little hesitation, and now trying to pop it outside again. And a good gain. Pickup of about 6.
That was his 376th carry of the season. Again, I mean, you talk about a durable guy. He's asking out here for a little bit of a break.
That is Trevon Boykin, who it seems like the last couple of possessions has been cramping up.
Yeah.
And they're working on him on the sideline. And no gain on that play for Nick Hill. Davian Pearson made the tackle. Le'Veon Bell waiting to get back in there now. Huge 3rd down upcoming. And if this is going to be where Andrew Maxwell needs to make a play, he needs to make it right here. Bell stays on the sideline. Larry Caper comes in at the tailback spot. And it'll be Maxwell in an empty set with 4 of his receivers to the right side. He's trying to run that way. Scrambling. Ball is out. Covered, I think, by his own lineman, but never had a chance to get a pass away.
Well, they tried to move the pocket to get away from the quick pass rush. The problem was Mapunga just pushed his man, the right tackle, Skylar Birkin, right into the quarterback. There was nowhere to go. But Mapunga made the play. And Michigan State very lucky they were able to come up with that football.
So they've got to kick it away again. As you look behind Sadler. Dawson backpedals, dropped the ball inside the 5. Who's got it? Michigan State, I believe, at the 4-yard line.
Well, this was an incredible punt, Brad. This ball was a rocket that just kept driving deep. Usually you tell your return man to put his heels on the 10-yard line, but that ball just really kept driving, and Dawson never got a clean read on it.
Michigan State with a ball 1st and goal as Williamson covers that drop ball by Dawson.
Here's only one guy who touches the ball here.
Talk about a gift.
Wow.
Now can Michigan State capitalize?
We talked about in their 7 wins plus 12 turnover margin, in their 5 losses, -5. Or -7, I should say.
Le'Veon Bell, a tailback in the eye. They fake it to him. Maxwell again running the wrong way, and a shovel pass to get it out of bounds with Hasley giving chase.
And that's good discipline by TCU. I mean, that is disciplined defense, not to be fooled on the play action.
On the play, quarterback out of the pocket, ball reached the line of scrimmage, incomplete pass, 2nd down.
Taquan Hammock is the injured Spartan, the guy that caught the longest pass of the night for Michigan State, coming out of the backfield on that halfback pass by Bell.
Well, the real problem, not only did he catch the pass, he has been the lead blocker for Le'Veon Bell, and he's going to have to come out for at least one play regardless of what his situation is. But he has had a really nice night being the lead blocker.
Went down after making contact with 2 TCU players. And you wonder if they would maybe bring in Lawrence Thomas to play fullback now, a guy who spent some time playing defensive tackle as well as offensively, because Taquan Hammock's definitely coming out. And the way he's limping doesn't look like it's going to be a one-play.
And that's going to change how they call plays here now, because obviously in this part of the field you're thinking about your heavy package, your heavy personnel. Hammock, a very big part of that personnel grouping. And now you've got a different situation.
There's Thomas on the sideline. And it's 2nd down and goal.
See, now you go 2 tight ends and you don't even have a lead fullback.
And one of those tight ends on the move to become the lead blocker for Bell. Heading to the corner. Touchdown. Michigan State an extra point away from the first lead of the night. Amazing turnaround from halftime when it was 13-0. And again, a little bit like the Georgia game last year, Michigan State coming up with big plays when they needed them in the second half. But this one started with a miscue on the punt return.
Pretty quick thinking, too, by Dan Rauscher, the offensive coordinator, to go with the tight end in the backfield when you lost your starting fullback.
Extra point is good. Michigan State in front. It all started, though, with Dawson dropping the football. R.J. Williamson covers it. Le'Veon Bell, for the 12th time this season, finds the end zone on the ground. 14-13. Le'Veon Bell has hung in there after a slow start. Now he's got 131 yards and, more importantly, a touchdown.
Well, they're going to get good blocking right here at the point of attack, but the key block is Gleichert, the tight end, who's going to come in motion and stop as the fullback right here. Remember, Hammock was injured on the play before, so you still want a lead blocker for Le'Veon Bell. You use the tight end. He gets a nice block on the middle linebacker, Hasley, and Le'Veon Bell is easily able to get into the end zone. That was quick thinking by the offensive staff and nice execution by the tight end Gleichert.
Dawson, who dropped that punt, back as the kick returner here from Kevin Muma. As Michigan State's got its first lead of the night. This will be Dawson from the goal line. Might try to make up for it here on one play. Got out, nice return, out across the 30. Talked about Michigan State coming from behind last year. Aaron Murray hit Tavares King, 80-yard touchdown. Georgia in front. Brandon Boykin returned a 92-yard punt. 16-0 Georgia at halftime. Remember that one? Then Le'Veon Bell, a 1-yard touchdown. 14 seconds left in regulation. Tied it at 27. And Dan Conroy, a 28-yard field goal. They beat the Bulldogs and blocked one at the end, 33-30. And now, after trailing 13-0 at halftime tonight, can they do it again? They're 7 minutes away. Still a lot of ball left, though. Boykin in trouble. Golston's got him collared.
I think there's something a little bit wrong with Boykin, too. I don't think he's 100% healthy. I think it's maybe his right leg, right hamstring or something that's bothering him. But he looks to be limping a little bit and not running as quickly or moving as quickly as he was earlier in the game.
Well, we saw them working on it on the trainer's table over there last time that their offense was on the sideline, and you're right, doesn't look like the same spring in his step that he had earlier. Quick throw to the outside and drops. Cam White hit him right.
See, the thing that TCU has to realize, though, this is not panic time. It's a one-point game. Their kicker has been very solid, even though he's a freshman. A field goal puts them back in front. They don't have to go into complete hurry-up mode and panic mode at this point. There's a lot of time left in the football game.
They got to be careful on third down at 15, too. Yep. And that's Golston down as he's heading to the sideline. He's had a heck of a game. You can see the size of Golston there as he head to the sideline. It sort of towers over even his teammates, much less the coaches. So third down and big yardage for TCU here. Boykin has made some big plays on third down, and he's been intercepted on third down tonight. Got blocks from both his tailbacks, but he sailed that one a little bit. Intended for Brandon Carter, and it's incomplete. And they will have to punt it back the Spartans.
Again, that's not a horrible thing for TCU. Their defense has still played an outstanding football game. I mean, Michigan State, even though they have the lead, has not controlled the game with their offense.
Buried a punt. Sims, fair catch at the 34-yard line. That's where Michigan State will have it with just under 6 minutes to go in the ball game. Capital One Bowl week rolls on New Year's Eve. 3 games for you. Noon, Wolfpack and the Commodores in the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl. 3:30, AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Tulsa and Iowa State. Then we'll cap it off before you ring in the new year with number 8 LSU, number 14 Clemson in the Chick-fil-A Bowl from Atlanta. Capital One Bowl week. That's Monday on ESPN. Taquan Hammock's back in there. And Holly says bruised quadricep, but they need him as the lead man for number 24. There he is, and Le'Veon Bell only got about a yard before Davian Pearson and Chucky Hunter bring him down. Two tough defenses, and now it's time for TCU's defense to show why they were number 1 in their conference. They've got to get the ball back. Le'Veon Bell, as he tweeted and Holly talked about 3 hours ago, they're just going to keep running it, try to shove it down their throat. He has in the second half pretty effectively. Here he is again, bouncing it outside, and he's cut down by Jason Verrett. Boy, that guy's had a heck of a ball game.
He has, and again, that's, you know, for a cornerback or even a safety, this is the best way to tackle Le'Veon Bell. Now, he has shown the ability at times, if he anticipates it, to hurdle over a guy, but you still have a better percentage of getting him on the ground, hitting him there, than trying to tackle him up around the shoulder pad.
Under 5 minutes. Michigan State would love to keep this football and keep that clock moving. But they're going to have to pick up 6 yards to do so. And the passing game's been very inefficient tonight. Quick slant, dropped by Burbridge. He wouldn't have had the first down anyway, thanks to Jason Verrett again.
Well, he just doesn't give you anything. I mean, in coverage tonight, all night, he has been anticipating. He's breaking on the football. He just squeezes all the short routes, and he gets his hand on the football. He's had a wonderful game.
Brandon Carter is back as the punt return man this time instead of Sky Dawson. Waiting on Sadler's kick. Carter, boy, he had a couple of looks there, and now flags as he hauls in the punt. I didn't see the fair catch call, to be honest with you.
Well, even if he didn't signal a fair catch, you've got to give him room to cleanly make the catch, and that's what may be the issue here.
Interference with the opportunity to catch the kick on the kicking team. Number 31, violation of the 1-yard belt, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that's close.
Yeah, it is, and it's kind of a judgment call. I mean, it's a 1-yard belt, but it's, you know, that's not a perfect science.
So that gives them the ball at the 36-yard line.
So now I think if you're TCU, you got lots of time, but you got to get the ball in the hands of your best playmaker, and that's Josh Boyce. He's the proven guy, number 82. So you got to find ways to get him the football and see if he can make a play for you.
Especially when your quarterback is having some issues with his hamstring or his knee or cramps, but has not been running like he did in the first half. Blitz coming. Quick throw, completes, and it is Josh Boyce around the 40.
I'd keep him in the slot where it's harder to put your best cover guys on him, and I try to give him the football. And right now, another player down, Isaiah Lewis, one of the starting safeties, looks like he might be cramping up. And he'll have to come out for a play.
And Jarris Jones would take his spot in the secondary. So a lot of guys having some issues here in the late stages of the fourth quarter.
You know, you condition during bowl practices and in that time off, but you haven't played a game for several weeks.
Yeah.
And it's not a hot night or anything like that, but you still cramp up because you're just not used to playing game speed for 60 minutes.
34 days in between games, in fact, for the Spartans. But here they are in another close game, a one-pointer with 4:20 remaining.
So you got Boyce in the slot again, and that means he's away from the best cover guys, who are the corners. Denard and, in this case, now Waynes.
Boykin again, the quick throw, and it's complete on the fly to Darius Brown. Brown at the 40. Stiff arm and knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Ladarius Brown, another one of the redshirt freshmen with a big play.
Nice job. Back-to-back quick throws. Good read that time by Boykin. They covered Boyce, and they left open Brown, and he found the open guy.
Brown only had 25 catches on the year, but 5 of them were touchdowns. So every 5 times he touches it, he scores. That time he got 21 yards, 21 big yards. And now Boykin only about a yard before Bulla and Hoover bring him down.
I think Michigan State just used a timeout.
Timeout. Michigan State, #1.
So they've got 2 remaining. TCU has got 2 remaining.
I think Mark just wanted to slow the game down here a minute. TCU hit a couple quick passes. They had a couple guys get banged up. I think he wanted to just slow things down, let his defense get regrouped, get the right personnel on the field, and see if they can come up with another red zone stop. That's been something they've been good at all season.
Well, there's the Michigan State season and their losses. And as we said earlier, it's almost impossible to lose 5 games by a total of 13 points.
Yeah.
But here they are in another close game that's going to set a record of 8 games that have been 4 points or less or whatever. And they're in position, but TCU's driving here.
TCU's driving. Their field goal kicker has been pretty good. They have a chance to take the lead. But again, Michigan State should be comfortable in this situation and at least have another opportunity to close a game out.
2nd down and 9. Inside the 31. Boykin flares it out to Tucker, and he loses his footing.
It's a bad throw. He threw it behind his receiver. When you throw the ball to a back, you want that ball in front of him where he can just keep his momentum and turn upfield and run. Because it was thrown behind him, he had to slow down, twist his body, and when he did make the catch, he ended up losing yardage.
Michigan State has taken another timeout.
Yeah.
This one's got me a little perplexed. Not quite sure why they take a timeout in this spot, but gives us a chance to tell you about Capital One Bowl Week. Concludes New Year's Day, Mississippi State Northwestern, the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl at noon on ESPN2. On ESPNU, Purdue and Oklahoma State in the heart of Dallas Bowl, Georgia, Nebraska. The Capital One Bowl at 1 o'clock on ABC, and South Carolina and Michigan in the Outback Bowl at 1 o'clock on ESPN. That is a full day of football for Capital One Bowl Week. That's Tuesday on ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Yeah, I'm with you on that timeout because if you get a stop here, you're looking at about a 52-yard field goal attempt. Anyway.
3rd and 13. Boykin going to take off with this one, but he's not going anywhere. Courtesy of Shalik Calhoun. And now Out comes the field goal unit. 50 is his career long. He hit that against Iowa State. This will be a 53-yard field goal attempt to try to regain the lead for the Horned Frogs. Jaden Oberchrome, freshman out of Arlington, Texas, from 53. Kick on the way, and he got it. Wow. 53-yard field goal by a freshman with the pressure on and 2:42 remaining, and he comes through.
This was no doubt. I mean, as far as strength of leg, I mean, it had to sneak it through the left upright. And now you see why Mark D'Antonio used those timeouts, assuming this guy was going to nail a long field goal, try to save as much time for your offense as possible. And they still have one timeout.
And 2:42 to work with. Nothing like having 16 freshmen you're playing, and both your punter and your kicker are, and they've come through tonight in both cases. Now is it going to be Maxwell or Cook at quarterback for Sparty?
I think at this point it has to be Maxwell. You know, you put him back in the game. And he's the veteran, the guy with the experience. I think you got to go with him.
What you'd like to get is a decent kick return, but this guy might not even let you return it. And he won't. 5 yards deep. Nick Hill's got to take a knee. And it will be Andrew Maxwell coming out of quarter. Well, both guys are there. Let's wait and see. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, Andrew Maxwell was trying to get the troops fired up, but it looks like they're going to go with the other quarterback in this situation. Not game experience. They're going with the youngster Cook. It's a big surprise, a call right now, but Andrew Maxwell was trying to rally the troops, and at the last second, they took him back to the sideline. Big call by Mark D'Antonio.
I'll say one thing for Connor Cook. When he's been in there, he's made decisions rather quickly. And as Todd said earlier, I think a bigger guy and a bigger arm, and we'll see if he can come through from the 25, first down. And there is a quick toss to Bell. And Le'Veon's got 12 and a first down.
Well, you got to make quick decisions because you know you got Fields and Mapunga, outstanding pass rushers, working against your tackles. You can't hold the ball a long time against these two guys.
Cook pumps down the middle, complete to his tight end. Across midfield to Deion Sims.
Good protection. 2 plays in a row, good pass protection, and nice reads by Connor Cook.
Dan Conroy warming up on the sideline. His career long, also 50. Little draw play. Bell trying to follow his blockers. Gets it to the 46-yard line with 2 minutes remaining.
Mark Hughes his last timeout.
Timeout. Michigan State. Their third and final timeout.
Again, Dan Conroy, a senior, in fact, a grad student out of Wheaton, Illinois, whose career long is 50, and he's warming up on the sideline. Capital One Bowl Week, available live anytime, anywhere on your computer, tablet, or smartphone at WatchESPN.com and with the Watch ESPN app. Well, this one's gotten interesting in the second half, partner.
It has.
Kind of a slow burn in that first half, 13-0. TCU, Michigan State came back to take the lead, 14-13. The freshman Oberchrome with a long field goal. TCU's up by 2, but now with just over 2 to go and no timeouts, it's up to Michigan State to try to win it at the end.
So what Connor Cook is thinking here now, with no timeouts, you can work any part of the field. You get a first down, the clock stops. Can't take a sack, though.
He lost that one to the sideline. Le'Veon Bell was the closest guy, but it was good coverage by Sam Carter, the linebacker.
All of a sudden, it's 3rd and 7, too.
Yeah. That kind of snuck up on him, didn't it?
Well, they tried to slip that draw play in on first down to run to Bell. It didn't fool TCU. And then the throwaway there on second down, and now a big third down. Obviously, 2-down territory.
He's like Sims, his tight end, on a few occasions tonight. He's just backpedaled and now in motion. 3rd and 7, Michigan State. Cook fires down the middle, in and out of the hands of Burbridge. The flag back at the 30-yard line.
Defensive holding is the signal.
That's going to be a first down.
5 yards and an automatic first down.
Holding on the defense, number 1. That's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
Chris Hackett with a holding call. Man, oh man.
Hackett made one of the best defensive plays in the first half when he stripped the long pass away from Burbridge. That time gets caught with the holding and gives Michigan State new life and a first down.
Fresh set of downs at the 37 with 1:50 remaining. Connor Cook, quick throw, dangerous one intended for Burbridge that time. That was in a little bit of traffic.
I know I've said it several times. I still think a double move, a slant and go, would be wide open because of the way they have squeezed these quick routes by Michigan State. Even if you don't have a real dynamic speed receiver, the way they're jumping routes, a double move, I think, would get you a touchdown.
Hand off to Bell, who hurdles one man, or at least jumped over one man. And he's got it to the 31-yard line. Now this is already field goal territory for Michigan State. So they'd love to pick up the first down. They'd love to use up the clock. What they don't want to do is get a negative play here.
Yep.
3rd down and 4. We're down to a minute 20. It's a nail biter now. Dan Conroy is done warming up, ready to come in if needed. Bell, quick move in a hole, but it only got him about a half yard because Kenny Kane stayed with him. And now TCU is going to take a timeout.
Timeout, TCU, number 2.
And it's going to be 4th down at the 30-yard line, which would make this 47, 48-yard field goal attempts by Dan Conroy.
6 of 11 from distance of 40 to 49 yards this season.
Conroy, some of his teammates trying to leave him alone, and some of them giving some encouragements. And here he comes.
One of the last games that we ever did together at Michigan State. Kind of came down to an interesting field goal kick situation.
Yep, fake field goal for a touchdown pass against Notre Dame. This will be a 47-yard attempt by Dan Conroy out of a Mike Sadler hold. Conroy to try to give Sparty the lead back on the way, and good. And still 61 seconds to play. First it was a freshman and then a grad student senior with back-to-back big-time kicks, and Michigan State back in front.
And the last-second decision by Mark D'Antonio to go back to Connor Cook on this possession. He hits 2 quick completions to get him out to midfield, then a couple runs by Bell, another completion, and then the go-ahead field goal. But what a drive by Michigan State. An offense that had been pretty much stymied for this entire football game. Made some plays when they needed them.
Conroy's 23rd field goal of the season is a Michigan State record. And they have had some awfully good kickers Going all the way back to Morton Anderson and guys like that. But still, 1:01 left. This is a short kick. Taken at the 8-yard line. Dawson backpedals his way to the 30. So TCU's got 1 timeout left. We know they've got a kicker with range at 55 seconds remaining.
Well, that last one he made from 53 might have been good from 63. So they've got to get a couple completions here and get beyond the 50-yard line, and this kid's capable of doing something heroic.
Gary Patterson told us yesterday, I've seen him kick past 60 in practice a couple of times. He's getting ready. We'll see if he gets a shot. Final minute. Boykin, pressure from behind, hit and got away. And now he'll get what he can and tiptoe out of bounds with about a 2-yard gain. Nikos Allen almost had him in the backfield. Well, Conroy's kick hold up. TCU needs some pretty significant yardage here. 2nd down and 8. Boykin flushed out of the pocket. Sidearms it. Probably should have been caught by Cam White, but wasn't. Trey Waynes was there defensively. That's 3rd and 8.
And I think Boykin got a little antsy on that play. I don't think he needed to leave the pocket quite as quickly as he did. Made a pretty accurate throw on the run, but he's got to keep his feet set and deliver a ball here on 3rd down. Again, 2-down territory, so you don't have to necessarily get it all in this play, but you only have 1 timeout left as well.
Spartans sideline going crazy over there. 3rd down and 8 for the defense that's on the field. Boykin, here comes the pressure. Maybe should have been a holding call. He lofts one, and it's dropped again. And we do have flags in the backfield and at the end of the play. We might have a holding and a pass interference going each way. Let's wait and see.
I think they picked the one up back in the back of the defense. Nikos Allen was the guy putting pressure again, and he was held.
There was only 1 foul on the play. Offensive holding, number 59.
Boulanger, the right tackle.
Nikos Allen is
that penalty will be enforced. 10 yards, 3rd down.
He's an outside linebacker, but he's the size of a safety. 5'11", 220 pounds.
59.
And he does bring pressure when he comes off the edge. He's got quickness, speed. 2 plays in a row. He's been the guy that's created the problem for TCU.
Again, you don't have to get all 18 yards here, but now the clock's working against you as well. 36 seconds, 3rd down, 18, 2-down territory. Final couple of chances, and now you're backed up. TCU at your own 22-yard line.
Golston right there.
Boykin steps up on the run. That's not what they needed. But they've got a timeout left. And now he gets up limping again.
Nice play by Kyler Ellsworth, the backup middle linebacker, in there in place of Max Bulla. Ran this one down.
Timeout, TCU. Their 3rd and final timeout.
The last gasp is at hand now. It's 4th down.
Actually, Bulla was in there along with Kyler Ellsworth, and Ellsworth was kind of the spy on that play on the quarterback Boykin and did a perfect job of staying right with him.
And now they've got to get to the 40-yard line for a 1st down to try to still have a chance. And isn't it ironic that the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl is going to come down to winging it one last time?
I think it's just as ironic that Michigan State, who played almost their entire season of games decided by 4 points or less, is right in another one and has a chance to come up on the winning end of this one. They lost games in overtime. They lost games on the final play of the game.
They won one at Wisconsin in overtime. Yep. And here they are, one play away. 4th down and 17 for TCU. This is your ball game. Boykin steps up, fires long, and it is incomplete.
Somehow there was a guy running all by himself for TCU, though.
Holding on the offense, number 69. That penalty's declined.
And Michigan State and their faithful can thank their kicker and thank their defense and how they played in the second half. And their number 2 quarterback. Kind of a strange night.
Well, the holding would have wiped this out, but I want you to see something now. This back, Catalan, is going to come out and run the wheel route, and nobody picks him up. And that's who Boykin was trying to throw the football to, but he is running all by himself down the sideline for TCU. Again, the holding would have wiped it out, but they had a guy open that would have put them in field goal range on that play.
What a wild ending. And now Michigan State can take a knee and have back-to-back bowl wins. Georgia last year in a come-from-behind effort, and TCU tonight in dramatic fashion with a 17-point second half to win it 17-16, the final score. 2 good coaches right there meeting at midfield, and both look forward now to 2013 after a close battle here tonight in Tempe. Our Capital One player of the game, Le'Veon Bell, held in check in the first half, showed why he's one of the top backs in the country in the second half. And Mark D'Antonio's the winning coach with Holly.
Well, Coach, coming into this game tonight, Connor Cook, your quarterback, had 5 completions on the season. So what factored into your decision to let him take that last drive for your team?
Well, we wanted him to play tonight. We just felt like we wanted to get a guy an opportunity to play who's a redshirt freshman. And, you know, he played well. He kept playing well, so we decided to go with him. You know, and he gave us some scrambling ability a little bit. But Andrew Max was a great football player, great quarterback. But you got to go with the hot guy a little bit. He made some throws down the stretch.
5 of your 6 losses this season, Coach, were by 2 points. So what was going through your mind with a minute left when you were down by 2?
Well, that we were going to kick a field goal and win by 1, of course. But just a great job by our players, just coming back and, you know, bouncing back from 13-0, and we just kept believing. Got a great breakdown here. Outstanding football team. TCU has an outstanding defense, and, you know, quarterback makes plays, and so feel very blessed.
Finally win the close one, Coach.
There it is.
Dan Conroy, the senior kicker, playing his final game for Michigan State, hits the game winner. Don't forget the trophy ceremonies on ESPN3. Sports Center is coming up next. Capital One Bowl Week continues tomorrow at noon on ESPN. Franklin American Mortgage, Music City Bowl, NC State and Vandy. I want to thank you for watching ESPN. Hope of the Discover BCS National Championship game. That's going to do it from Tempe, Arizona. For Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, Brad Nessler, Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you with Oregon and Kansas State in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl when next we meet.